All right, this is Dr. Paul. We just wrapped up our chiropractic patient education workshop. This is the chiropractic patient education retention workshop, and I'll tell you what it does. Statistically, 92% of my clients that start this increase their business over $100,000 in 90 days. And I'll just share with you number one reason why. I'll do a statistical analysis, and I'll see how many patients are dropping out and where they're dropping out. And we can easily, when we know that, we not only know how much potential revenue they're losing, but we also know where to go. We know how to clean it up and what to do. So we're here with Dr. TJ, and we did a statistical analysis with your patient dropout. Okay. You remember how that looked?
Horrible.
Okay. You didn't know it was horrible prior to us doing it, did you?
No.
Okay. And that's like most doctors. Most doctors don't realize how bad statistics they are, how quickly and often they're losing patients. So they always think they need a ton of new patients. Is that what you thought? You need new patients?
Yep, initially wanted you to market and get more people in.
That's right. That's why you called me initially. And that's what chiropractors do. They don't realize, like you, look how many less new patients you're going to need once your patient retention is cleaned up.
Yep.
Okay. So the first thing we want to do is a statistical analysis and see where they're dropping out, and how much. That tells us how much potential revenue we're going to be able to increase the business, and it tells us where to pay attention to our patient education. So that's what we did with TJ, and we found out you were losing a lot of patients, like most chiropractors. By the way, most chiropractors, when I do this analysis, are losing over a third of their new patients by the sixth visit. And yours was actually worse than that, wasn't it?
It was worse.
Okay. All right. Now, there's good news and bad news about that. The bad news is that's losing a lot of business. The good news is when we correct that, you can see now how that's going to jump up fast, don't you? Okay. And this is how, can you see why now 92% of my clients increase their business over $100,000 in 90 days?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yours is going to be easy to go over 100 because it's so bad. So anyway, having said that, so we did that's how we do the practice analysis. We looked at it. So then we come here and we do the training. We look at it and we do, all right. So our training is based on the science of the three phases of healing. Had you ever gotten that anywhere else in chiropractic?
No.
Okay. Now, so the very first thing we did is we go, well, let's put the patient under the care based on the science of the three phases of healing. Then I went into the detail with you, the science of the three phases of healing, right?
Correct.
How much sense did that make?
Perfect sense.
Yeah. And you found out that you weren't even offering patients care to take them through all three phases, were you?
That's correct.
Barely even the second phase, were you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so now we know. Then the next thing we did is we went into the test to show whether or not, what test would be positive in the inflammation phase, the repair phase, or the remodel phase, right?
Yes.
So now you know specifically what test to do to evaluate each phase of care to see if the patient needs it or not, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then we went into the patient education, right? In other words, we had to explain this to the patient.
Mm-hmm.
And how difficult was that?
The learning part was easy. The practicing part was difficult.
Yeah, okay. Like anything new, when you first do it, it's a little harder, right?
Yep.
But how easy was it for us to explain the three phases of healing to a patient?
Very easy.
Very easy, yeah. And see, that's what happens is patients understand and they care more about themselves and how they heal. Can you see how we're talking about the patient and not chiropractic philosophy?
Yeah, that made it a lot easier.
Right. And I say this all the time, and you heard me say this. The patients will only start caring about chiropractic philosophy when what? When you care about the dental profession philosophy, okay? So it's all patient-centric. Everything we talk about was about the patient, the inflammation, the repair, the remodel, and their tests relative to that, right?
Correct.
And then, how easy is it for them to now choose all three phases of care?
Once they know, it's easy for them.
Once they know, right? Okay. Now, once they know that's easy, so now we just have to know how to handle money and time, right?
Yep.
In other words, we got to make it affordable, right?
Mhm.
Now, we learned how to talk terms, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we learned how to take this large case value and break it down to where it was easily affordable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the second part of it, right?
Mhm.
And then the third part is time. Those are the two other obstacles. Because if you have them wait a lot of time in the waiting room and you spend a lot of time with them, and you now understand patients they drive 22 minutes here, 22 minutes back. You make them wait 10, 20, 50 minutes. You spend 10 minutes with them. They're on therapy for 20 minutes. You now understand they just spent an hour and a half of their day with you. And how many people want to spend an hour and a half a day with you 3 times a week?
Not a lot.
So how important did you understand to be able to move patients? Number one, not make them wait at all. In other words, have good systems, good flow, good layout. Okay, how well did we cover that?
Very well.
Okay. And then being efficient with the systems so nobody's waiting. Okay. So how well now can patients not wait when they come in your office?
No wait.
Right? You have enough therapies for all 3 phases of healing for multiple patients, right?
Correct.
And it costs less than $5,000, doesn't it?
Yes.
Right. And so that takes them through all 3 phases of healing. We make it affordable. We respect their time.
Yep. Exactly.
How easy is it for them to say yes now?
Very easy.
That's what happens. That's why you can see now why 92% of our clients increased their business over $100,000. Matter of fact, the last client just increased their business $216,000 in 90 days. There were 2 clients. They were seeing 70 visits a week. And all we did was this. And they had bad stats like you. They were dropping out left and right. They only applied this. They went up to $216,000 increase annually in 90 days. 90 days. See how that works?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What did you think about the weekend and the information?
I thought it was very informative. Definitely getting better care for the people.
Pretty detailed.
And
One.
more affordable.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.